What's
Yo,
up?
what's
What's up?
poppin', buddy? How y'all
Buddy?
doing?
Peace and love. Peace and love. Professional district. Welcome to the show, my brother.
We are live and on the air.
Live
Oh,
in
y'all
the
here.
hood.
What's up, my brothers?
Peace
What's
and
good?
love,
What's
man.
cracking?
Good.
How's everybody feeling tonight?
Man, feeling with both hands and feeling good.
There you
Amen.
go. We got Cheryl Queen in the building, Margaret Nick in the building. Kenny Adams is in the building, y'all. I just want y'all to know if y'all don't see him right now. Peace and
How you
love, y'all.
doing, Miss Queen? How you doing, Miss Nick?
Yes,
Good
indeed.
evening to you. Good
Hey,
evening.
what's up, Cheryl? Cheryl, tell Keith I said, what's up? Tell him I'll call him tomorrow. I got to ask him a couple questions. I will call him tomorrow.
Tell him we said what's up. Peace and love.
Mr.
Queen
Pre,
Dupree
just hopped
in
in
the
the
place
house.
to
How you
be.
doing, Angela?
Here.
Angela Dupree in the house.
Hope you're doing
What's up,
wonderful.
Angela? Welcome back.
Definitely. No,
Kenny, you on the show?
the number one stunner.
Oh my goodness.
You know how I do. You know how I do.
Boy, you wild. He's a wild boy.
How you doing, Angela? Angela celebrated a birthday last weekend, y'all. Happy
Oh,
birthday
word.
to you. Happy birthday to you.
And happy sober return. Show. Gotta give it to
Mr. Wallace.
What's
Mr.
going on, Wallace? In
you.
the house?
Look, Mr. Wallace brought mad luck to the Washington Commanders. He was in the building when Jaden threw that 65-yard touchdown final play. Shout outs to Mr. Wallace.
We really have to relive that.
Hey, man, it was huge.
Oh yeah.
Huge. It
Cheryl
was
said,
huge.
"Welcome back, Q."
Hey, Cheryl, thank you. Good to be
Yeah,
back,
welcome back,
Cheryl.
brother.
Good to be back.
Welcome back, brother.
Oh, yeah.
We missed you last week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
No doubt, no doubt. It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a very good show. Yeah, happy birthday, Mr. Q.
No question.
Happy birthday.
Power
Anthony,
Pack show lined up.
brother, how you feeling, man? Go way back to like the Shag, man. Brother, good people right there.
What you say? Go back to what?
We go back like the Shag, man. Anthony Perry, man. His brother's one of one.
Okay,
Yeah, bro.
like that. All right, well, look, this.
I see Big Brother Armand has jokes already.
Oh, what he say? Let me see. Let me see what he said. Let me put it up on the screen.
Yeah. I'm on
Yeah,
suicide.
he going all the way in. Keep a close eye on Kenny, fellas. He might be close to the side.
Oh, damn,
Watch
he going in on both on two of your teams.
Boys. Damn.
We'll talk about that later, brother. We'll talk about
Oh
that later.
man, he went in on both teams. Okay.
Where's the love, man? Where is the love? We supposed to have.
Margaret. Yeah, that food was delicious, Margaret. No question about it. Yes,
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, they say welcome back to you, Q. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Marvin Nick. That food was looking, man.
Man, they
So
did
look.
it right. I ain't gonna lie. They did it right, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, we ain't gonna delay things. We got a lot to cover tonight, so without further ado, we're gonna keep it moving. My voice still a little hoarse from Sunday, man. I yelled at the TV so much last Sunday. TV couldn't
You and a
hear me
whole
either,
lot
but I was talking. TV couldn't hear me, but I was talking. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how it is, man. You just be in it. So, well, for those that are hoarse and aren't hoarse, regardless, drink some hot tea, lemon, honey, soothe your throat a little bit. But I do want to say thank you to all those that have supported us through the years, being here, day in, well, week in and week out. We definitely appreciate your presence. And so I thank a few other people that have reached out and they even did something else incredible. They donated to the Best Nation. Gentlemen, y'all know what that is, right? Come on, give me, what's the Best Nation, gentlemen?
Donation.
Donation.
Say it one more time.
Donation.
Donation.
Oh, yes. So for those donations, Vanessa Turner, Greg Harris, Mimi Lee, Cheryl Queen, Pam Williams, and production 777 Production has made donations and also made some beats for us also, so we definitely appreciate them. Miles and Kim
He made this
Walker,
beat, right?
Yeah,
He made this beat.
Wallace and many others. Definitely. Donations. Appreciate you at Cash App. It's $KENNEDIZZLE1113. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you for the hearts also. And like I said, your presence is the most important. So we definitely appreciate you week to week. Special alert. We're going to do a special Friday night, November 1st, KBS edition. This would be one of our first sessions, we call them, like breakout sessions. And this is about the election coming up. So don't miss that. It's going to be at 8 o'clock, usual time, but Friday evening. So we're just going to plug that so you can get in and let your friends know. It was really interesting the last, week before last. 2 weeks ago, we had 4 people on, and we'll go into who they are and everything else. We had a really heated debate, really fun show. I'll tell you, man, they were going at it. So a lot of people liked it. Actually, it ended up being like an hour and a half show. And we generally try to keep it about an hour, but it was that intense. So I don't expect anything less than that. So moving right along, I do want to bring my brother up since he's back from, gallivanting around the world and everything. Big up my boy right here. Q, come on up in here. Tell him what you do. Tell him what you did.
Q, you got a little feedback too going on. So you might want to check that out. And see.
I haven't said anything yet.
Yes.
Oh, you got hair.
Let's talk about what's on tap. Tonight's going to be an interesting show as always. And guys, I want you to check this out because we're going to talk about something that we don't talk about very much. And that's moolah. Money.
What?
We're going to talk about money. And we're going to talk about how money works. And particularly as we age, how important it is to pay attention to what we're doing. So, our first drink on the tap tonight, let's want to do a NFL mid-season review. Who's hot? Who's not? And I know why somebody pushed for this segment because their team is doing really well, so they definitely wanted to talk sports. But that's okay, though. I'm going to let that go.
I wonder who that is.
About it. And then that's my second drink tonight. We're going to go into our feature segment. And our feature segment this week is going to be the impact of inflation on retirees. causing some folks to return to work. And we're just going to talk about money as a whole and how money works as well. So that's our feature segment tonight. And guys, I think you really wanted to hear this because it's important. Then finally, for our third drink, as already been alluded to, on Friday night, we're going to have a special show, a special edition of our KBS Roundtable, our political roundtable once again. Our guests who were on a few weeks ago have agreed to join us again on Friday night as we do another section of this roundtable with Melissa Clark, with Howard Powell, Mr. Kelly Michael Williamson, and Mr. Mark Anthony Walanowski joining us on Friday night at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss that, man. This is going to be hot. And we got some stuff we got to cover. Back to you, Lenny. Let's get this thing going.
All right. I'm going to get you too. I'm going to get you in a little bit because you and Kenny try and get me on. You know, I'm going to tell you about it a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, you know, I figured, look, this ain't got nothing to do with Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders tearing up the NFL, the hottest team in the. I'm gonna talk some shiznick right now because this my year.
Yeah, hey, you know that's real though. I mean, I salute you, man.
This my year. If any Commander fan out there, let me drop a 1 in the chat group or say go Commanders or something. Now, if you call them Redskins, I don't care. But you know what I'm saying?
Call them Commanders, man.
But anyway, no, it's on a serious tip. We figured that we would talk a little NFL. Q, turn back a little bit. You got a little bit of feedback coming through your speaker, coming back to your mic, Q. And that's that little. Check out my brother. He dropped major ones. He dropped the one right there. He dropped another one. And another one. And another one. And another one.
Yeah, let's move along. Do the time constraints.
Okay.
Enough of this bullshit. Let's go.
Anyway, we figured we'd talk a little bit about mid-season results in the NFL. Who are the teams and players that's leading the league so far this year? And it's just not the Commanders. There's other people out there, even though we definitely one of them. You know what I'm saying? but anyway, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that tonight, and see where we are with things, folks. Just see what's up, see what's going on. So anyway, let's get it started off. The first thing we want to talk about, brothers, though, who are, and we're gonna go around the horn. Audience, you can chime in. Who are your surprise teams thus far this year, and who's overperforming and who's underperforming your expectations at the beginning of the year? So, at the beginning of the year, you had some notion that some team was going to do something. So let's talk about the teams, not players, the teams. What y'all say? The audience, what y'all say as well about that? Kenny, you want to start?
Who, me? Oh, Kenny? You said me or Kenny?
Yeah. Kenny, you want to start?
Yeah, let's get this over with. First of all, the Commanders are a surprising team. I mean, I thought they would do well. They made some off-season moves. They got the young brother, Jaden Daniels. To be on a serious note, the brother is putting it down. The Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. The Buffalo Bills are doing surprisingly well right now. Yeah, surprisingly well. The biggest disappointment of this season so far, we all know. Let's go ahead and let me have it. My Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what we signed 2 players to over $90 million a year. We're in the basement. But right now, for me, the Bills, and it's painful for me to say that the Commanders are very good surprises, big surprises.
All right.
I'll get my 2 cents.
What you say?
I agree with Legends of the Past. I'm not surprised that the Cowboys suck because they generally suck. I was pleasantly surprised that the Commanders, still winning. They usually win for like 3 games or 4 games, and then they drop down. But that wasn't the Commanders. That was the Sucky Skins. I can support the Commanders since they changed their name, as I said a long time ago. Lenny knows I've been saying this for years. They need to change their name, or they'll never win a championship with that name. And they never won a championship with that name. Hence, Lenny is so elated about them winning, and Legends are from the past, elated about them winning. And I am too now, since they changed their name. But like I said, they weren't going to win nothing at that point. You're absolutely right, Debris. Jacksonville Jaguars underperformed without question. Without question. Shoot, you coming on the show next week, lady. We need you. Surprising Detroit. Detroit. I thought Detroit was going to do well this year. I really did.
Yeah, I did too.
And actually, I thought the Commanders were going to do well. And I mean, I would say something about Baltimore doing well, but nobody's really surprised that Baltimore is doing well.
How about that?
That's
How about
what
that?
we do,
They always.
baby.
You're right. You always.
The Pittsburgh Steelers too. They rocking. I mean, so it was a little turmoil there, so they doing their thing also. But I'm gonna pass it on to the Fast Master.
Well, I'm going to start from the other end of the spectrum. Who's underperforming? And for me, the team that's really, really underperforming, because coming into the season they had high expectation and there's a lot of hype around them, but they have seriously floundered, are the New York Jets, led by their quarterback, who had all the talk around him. But they stink this year. The Jets have lost 5 games in a row. They're 2-5. They're like last in their division, and when they were predicted to be a Super Bowl contender, and they got all of these primetime games because they thought they were going to be a Super Bowl contender, but they suck. They have sucked. So the New York Jets would be my most surprising team for being pretty bad. And for on the other end of the spectrum, somebody, of course, everybody is saying Washington is surprising, and Washington has been surprising. But I have been surprised so far by Pittsburgh also. They played a lot better than I thought they would be playing this year. And I think they're going to be there the rest of the season. They're going to be right up there. So Pittsburgh and the New York Jets will be my surprises.
Well, I'm gonna say my surprise is Minnesota Vikings. I didn't see the Minnesota Vikings coming out winning, but they won the first 5 games or something like that, right?
Yeah, they've lost their last 2, but yeah.
They have lost their last 2, but I mean, come out the box, kicking butt 5 games. Surprising underperforming team, man. Cincinnati Bengals, man. I thought they would.
Yeah, that's true.
Be a little stronger than that. Very disappointed in them thus far this year.
And they've been a lot of injuries though this year. I think
everybody got injuries though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like a plethora of
yeah, definitely.
Decimated.
Definitely. So Dallas a little bit disappointment. I thought Dallas would be a little bit better than where they are, but but it's still halfway in this season, so I'm not giving up on them, Kenny. I wouldn't give up on them. You know what I mean? But
I would say the same thing about the Cincinnati Bengals, Lanny, who you just talked about. They still right in the thick of things. Now, they're 3-4. They're still right in the playoffs. They're not horrible.
The thing with them is, though, you have Pittsburgh and the Ravens is kind of starting to run away from that division. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Still plenty of football left. Players. Who's surprising players? Starting with you, Kenny.
I'm going to have to say again, Jaden Daniels. That kid is phenomenal. I'm definitely not a Commanders Redskins fan, but that kid is really, really phenomenal. He stands out up the head above everybody else for me. My son on here hating, but I'm not giving up on the Cowboys. But okay, yeah. But Jaden Daniels is for me my disappointment. I'm gonna have to go with you, Lenny. The Jets. I thought the Jets would really make some noise. I thought Aaron Rodgers would really do some damage. Kind of along the lines of Tom Brady playing in that age. But they are just straight trash. I mean, their season is over already. Their season was over.
His line is trash.
For me, my big guy that's exceeding expectations is Jaden Daniels, and my biggest disappointment is Aaron Rodgers.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. How about you, Ard?
What's the brother
anybody
that came for Baltimore? The running back that we got
Derrick
from.
Henry. Derrick
Oh
Henry.
yeah.
Ooh, stand out. Good God. I mean, nobody really thought his second career coming in he was great where he was. Let's be real. He was the dude. But he's at a point where people would question whether durability, age, would start wearing, he loses step, lose the passion. But good God. Dude
He's
is
a beast,
doing
though. He's a beast, Art. He definitely
Yeah,
is.
man. But you can only be a beast for so long. And he's still a beast. That's the thing.
He's one of those. He really takes care of his body. He's one of those guys who really takes care of his body. He watches what he eats. I mean, he's very, very strict diet. His regimen.
And he fast. He's a faster also. He doesn't eat till 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening.
Exactly. I'm not really shocked by.
Oh, he's an intermittent faster.
Oh
He's a
yeah.
faster.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Oh, damn.
That's why
Call
I'm
him up, get him on the show.
No shit. He a poster child for intermittent fasting because he's killing it. Armand,
he's-
Legends of the Past said Rodgers can't move at 40 years old. So he's not. I guess you're not surprised that he's not doing well.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
mean, with his line acting like they can't hold water like a paper bag. So they can't hold no
Thank you,
defense off of him.
Natural. Thank
He's
you,
getting
Natural.
smacked. I don't care if he could move. He never was able to move
Thank
like
you,
Mike
Matt.
Vick. And that's what kind of movement you would need to be successful with the line he's standing behind. Let's be real.
I'm glad somebody
So-
made that. I'm glad you made that point because it's not all him.
No, it's not.
Cute.
Nah,
So Art, you got any other players that's over or underperforming, or you want to kick it to Q?
No, kick it to Q because we need to keep it moving. I don't want to, we
gotta
could be
keep it
labeled this
moving, man.
point.
I'm just gonna keep it moving. Underperforming. Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers, a quarterback. He's come back to earth after last year's success. He's underachieving, and somebody overachieving. The guy from the New York Giants, that receiver, man, that rookie receiver, he's killing people too.
Oh, that boy bad, man. That boy is
beast.
bad, Q. You're right. He is really.
Killing
What is?
people, man.
I don't know his
That's
name, but I think he played with Jaden Daniels at LSU, didn't he,
That's
Kenny?
his neighbors, neighbors.
Yeah, that boy is nice. I'm gonna tell you one that I like overperforming. I think all the young gun quarterbacks that are rookies this year, like what's the
Yeah,
boy
really.
Bo Nix out of I don't know where he played Oregon. Now he's playing for the Denver Broncos. Boy, kicking ass. Boy is kicking ass. And though he lost last week against the Commanders, the boy Caleb Williams is starting to play ball pretty damn good too. So I like the young quarterbacks that got drafted this year. 3 of them are really showing that why they got drafted in the position that they are. So I got to give mad shout outs to those guys right there. So,
absolutely.
and on a sidebar note, pray that the guy in Miami, he came back this week. I pray that the guy will be all right and nothing happened to him. You know what I mean? Because he's in a precarious situation. But the other overperformer, I think, is Baker Mayfield in down in where is he at? Tampa Bay. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Look, let's wrap this up real fast with another quick one.
I see you, Dupree.
Real fast. Pick one up.
Dupree know her game. She know the
That's
game.
what I was about to say. I didn't want to talk over Liz.
Much love to you, girl.
Yeah, she.
Donato.
We might have to have a women's football show one day because she definitely on.
Featured on this
Talk
show.
after it's over with.
Real fast. If the season was over today, who would win these awards? And these acronyms stand for ROI, Rookie of the Year, MVP, obviously, DPOY is Defensive Player of the Year, and then Coach of the Year. Pick one or two of them, fellas. You can just shout them out in any order.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say MVP. I think Lamar gonna be the MVP again.
Lamar. Mm-hmm. Defensive
Over-
player of the year, looking like J.J. Watt.
That boy nice.
Boy, nice.
Commanders quarterback, rookie of the year. That's what he's looking like right now.
Y'all don't think Mahomes gonna get MVP?
He's not played that well, actually, man. He's not playing all that great. To be honest with you.
Oh no.
He has a good supporting
Playing
cast.
that great. You gotta look at
No,
what
he's
he's
not
doing.
playing
He's not
supporting
playing all
cast.
that great.
Well, who's
you know,
coaching? Who's coaching the best then?
Andy
Who's-
Reid.
Andy Reid get coach of the year because they undefeated so far. So far.
Yeah.
So, all right. Last question. The audience, this is for y'all too. I'm sorry about that, Kenny. But who gonna make the playoffs? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Who gonna make it? Who gonna miss it?
I'm a realist. The Cowboys will not make the playoffs this year. San Francisco is teeter-tottering on disaster.
Yeah.
A surprise playoff team? God. That's a tough one. New Orleans?
New Orleans playing about 500 ball right now, right?
They're playing about 500 ball, but I think their strength of schedule is really, really good going forward, if I read that correctly.
Okay.
I may be wrong. Somebody fact check me, but I think they have a very favorable schedule going forward.
Okay. But we will see. Well, look, let's get to our feature segment. Get to our feature segment today. And we're going to jump into tonight we're exploring the high cost and the growing cost of retiring and how inflation has some retirees returning to work. I want to take a look at a quick video and then we're going to talk about it on the other side. Because some of these people retired 10, 15 years ago, thought they had enough money to make it another 40 or 50 years. But money ain't stretching
The
as
high cost of living is
long
forcing
as it
some
used
older
to.
Americans back into the workforce.
A survey by AARP found more than half of Americans aged 50 and older worry they won't have enough money for retirement.
All right.
This is not what 74-year-old Jeanette Campbell pictured doing when she retired from teaching 12 years ago. Did you think that you'd be back at work?
Not at all. I thought I would be taking care of my grandchildren, traveling the world.
Instead, she's here, checking emails, making calls, and putting together promotional material for United Home Care. Campbell realized she needed to go back to work when she just couldn't make ends meet.
I couldn't afford to pay my mortgage. And so I didn't want to be left out in the street homeless.
Vera Venkat is Senior Vice President of Research at AARP.
Among adults yet to retire, 1 in 5 have absolutely no retirement savings.
The survey also found 1 in 4 working adults, 50 and older, expect to never retire, and 70% feel prices are rising faster than their income.
Why this is happening is, one, the lingering effects of inflation.
Inflation and the rising cost of just about everything these days has had an impact on all of us, but one group that's getting hit especially hard, people close to retirement.
Ricky Bowman is looking for a job, any job, but preferably back to painting.
Everyone's looking for a job. It's different world these days.
At 66 years old, returning to the workforce wasn't something he thought he'd have to do. But with the rising cost of living, many seniors can't make it on their Social Security alone. Social Security benefits are about $1,400 a month.
Without the food assistance programs, I wouldn't be able to, I don't know what we'd be doing.
One Community Now in Newport Richey helps people in need, and they say they've seen more and more seniors come in need of a job.
So a lot of them are just, really nervous. They're afraid that they aren't going to be able to live and survive, and a lot of them don't have families.
One Community Now says so far they've found work for just one senior, and that was at Dunkin' Donuts.
A lot of the fast food industries are hiring more young who are, move quicker. So they're having a hard time finding even a receptionist job somewhere.
A recent report from Harvard University says nearly a third of households headed by seniors are considered cost burdened. That's when they pay more than 30% of their income for housing. Half of that group pays more than 50%. Ricky says he's just getting by and having to cut out things he really loves, like fishing, but getting a job would really help.
It would make a huge difference because that would all be enough money to do things like go out to dinner once a month or just go places and do things.
In Pasco County, Eric.
That's a tough situation there.
Well, look,
Very disturbing. Very disturbing.
things are changing. Like I said, people saved money years ago. But Q, let's just talk about the economy just in general real fast before we go into the retirees. Examine the general causes of inflation on the U.S. economy right now, man.
Wow, man, it's just it's impacting us in so many different ways, man. And the thing is, people really don't understand what causes inflation. And inflation is just not a store raising its prices. There are factors that go into inflation. Stuff like supply chain disruptions, wage inflation. Wages go up. This is something that's really overlooked. The exchange rate fluctuation, the value of the American dollar, when that fluctuates, that can spur inflation, and people don't even think about that. But that's a big part of it. Demand and supply. That's a big reason for inflation as well. So there are all kinds of production costs, fiscal policy. All those things are factors of inflation. It's just not a store or business is raising their prices. It's just not that. And sometimes things like eggs, if there's a bird flu or something like that, it might drive the price of eggs up. So inflation comes in so many different variables. Gasoline, when there's a storm and the pipeline is shut down, it happens.
Well, since you spoke about groceries and eggs, I want to kick it to Kenny because New York City particularly, some of the highest prices in groceries in the entire United States. And talk about that and the average cost to feed a family.
Wow.
Well, first of all, up here in the New York, New Jersey area, it's demographics. Everything is more expensive here. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. As far as feeding a family, it's on average $486 per month per person for groceries. Groceries alone. Per person.
For a month.
That's groceries alone. We're not talking about toiletries and any other thing. And just like E touched on, there are a lot of things that cause this. He's touched on supply chain issues, inflations, of course, labor costs. It's so expensive because people in New York City make more, so business owners have to pay more. The cost of running a brick and mortar business in New York is like unother in anywhere in the United States.
Because of real estate costs, yeah.
Right. Another big problem up here that's talked about up here a lot it's a thing called corporate profiteering. Corporate profiteering is when businesses decide we're going to make as much money, as big a profit as we can without regards to anything, without in regards to ethics, any regards to what you're going through. That means can we sell you this at a cheaper price? Absolutely. But are we going to do it? No, we're not. Things are
price gouging, right, Kenny?
That's exactly what it is. Good point, my brother. That's a form of price gouging.
Yeah.
A prime example of that is an emergency. Say weather events, hurricanes, it could be anything. You notice prices automatically go up. There are no more sales. Just pay attention. There are no more sales. The sales you may see in that circular are now gone. These things are not only unethical, they're also illegal, but the time it takes to form a prosecution on it, we've already moved on to something else. And that's why these big corporations get away with it each and every day. That is one of the biggest things up here in that area is corporate profiteering.
Thank you, my brother, for enlightening us. Arden and Q, talk about rents in apartments and mortgages and things of that nature. So it seems like some rents have skyrocketed over the past years, and it's affecting single home purchases as well. And I just wanted to know, will single home purchases, as they are down, become replaced with some other different concepts and people can't even afford a damn house? Can y'all talk about those two things, the rents and the mortgages?
Well,
sure.
There's a lot of. Arden, I'm gonna let you jump in after. I'm just gonna say this briefly and let you take this, Arden. But there's legislation that's been passed recently to pull back, to rein in these apartment complexes and rental companies from. They're doing a form of price gouging as well, where they have the ability to charge almost anything they want. And it's hurting the economy and hurting people and hurting families. So that there's been some legislation and some movement in trying to rein that back in. Because, like you said, the apartment rentals have skyrocketed, man. They got to get that back under control. But Art, I'm gonna kick it over to you because I know you have some thoughts on single-family home purchases and some of the different concepts. And I'll come back in on the back end.
Well, I mean, first off, we're talking about everything in America is bought in dollars. If the dollar gets weakened, things go up in price. I mean, let's be real. The dollar's not as strong as it was when we were young. That's why you could go to the store when we were children with $5, $10 and really shop, like literally really shop. But the dollar is not as strong as it was as far as that was concerned. During COVID, 1 year they printed over 50% of the circulating money that was on the market was printed within 1 year. It's unheard of. They used to have I think you still do have a online. You can see how much money the Treasury is printing year to date. And when you look at that scope, it looks like this, and it goes up like this during COVID when they printed all the money, and it drops back down. That affects everything. Everybody's talking about who's responsible for the prices going up. Hey, it's a big thing. It's you can't talk about anything as far as inflation until you address that situation, which was caused by a unique.
To add to that, Natural, you're on point. You're on point about that because the dollar is tied to nothing, like you said. That's why they can print out money like that. It used to be tied to the gold standard, but ever since they eliminated that, they can do whatever. They can print as much money as they want. It doesn't even matter anymore. There's no tracking. It's just to be printed. But go ahead, back to you, Natural. But that was a good point you made.
Situation. But I will say one thing in reference to like home prices. There's a lot of things dealing with as far as like the home prices as far as that's concerned. One, you have certain people that can't get a loan for a house, but even in you can look at their credit and see that they've been able to pay for an apartment over and over and over and over again for years, but they can't get down payment assistance. And I think that's going out there right now as far as being able to buy a house a little bit more efficiently. But that's a huge situation. Secondly, you have corporations right now that are buying up homes in certain area codes and certain zip codes. It's very difficult. If you don't have a house in that zip code, you won't be able to buy a house in that zip code because corporations are buying all of those houses in that situation and forcing anybody that wants to live in that zip code to have to rent from them. Did somebody say something?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question because, if this continues this way, though, the single family home purchases will probably change to some other new concept. And I know they got these things called home sharing, and they got fractional shares of homes where people can like buy them like NFTs and things of that nature. I mean, it's like all these new concepts, even own a home. Or could you talk about a little bit of that?
Well, I think you kind of hit it really off already. There are opportunities where you can share a home or you can purchase a home, especially through these NFTs. If you don't follow crypto, it's a lot of information you got to dive into right now because things are changing financially. But through crypto NFT, which is a non-fungible token, you can allocate that to any real world property. And they're doing that with homes. And somebody could buy or sell a percentage of homes like an NFT. If you're familiar with crypto, like say the big one, Bitcoin, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a percentage of the Bitcoin or a portion of the Bitcoin. And now they have NFTs for homes that you can buy a portion of a house. And an NFT is a contract, so you have to read the contract and find out what that means and the stipulations there and what lies in that stipulation, in those stipulations, I should say. But there are a lot of ways where people are buying homes now. And in old school, people are getting together and buying a house and moving into that one house and then buying another house and somebody's getting that house and they're moving in. So there's a lot of ways where people are really trying to get around that situation of home ownership because the prices are going up significantly right now as we speak.
Well,
Yeah,
look, we
now,
want
you
to.
see, as you touched on now, so you see things like multi-generational families, dividing costs and living together. There may be
Right.
grandparents in the home and the children and grandchildren all living, or sisters and brothers or cousins or whatever the case may be, as a way
Yes.
to decrease the cost and make it
Correct.
affordable. There's lots
Yeah,
of that
that's
going.
becoming more common.
And maybe something
And,
that expands as we move forward with
and
the
it's
housing
it's
market
not
being the way it
it's
is.
not anything new.
Yeah,
This is what we did years and years and years ago, and then
yeah,
people jumped in a generation where it's all about I and me, all about me, me, and me and I. So everybody had to have a house, and they kind of went through that. But that's the cycles, growth cycle. Then there's a cycle where people are trying to recuperate, and
Well, look,
scarcity sets in. But
I wanted to segue with both of y'all
I
talking
jumped,
about,
jumped into it.
but more to the retiree situation that we first started the segment with. People of retirement age having to come out of retirement, going back to supplement and that type of thing, just because their dollar didn't stretch as many years as they want. If you might have retired 15, 20 years ago, thought you had enough money to last 40 or 50 years, but it only lasts 20 some years. Now I got to get some more money. So can you talk about how longer lifespans are affecting to retirees as well? Because people are living longer, they're healthier, things of that nature, making them go back to the workforce.
You kind of killed it already. I mean, you did it.
yeah.
People are living longer. So in that aspect, if your money's not right, and let's be real, like I said, if your money was right and your calculations were to the extent of it lasting you a certain amount of time, with this black swan event that was COVID and that whole COVID situation where you had a huge amount of money printed out. Everybody that had money saved lost money when they printed all that money. There's no way to get around it. There's no other way to say it. When they printed all of that money, anybody that had money in the bank lost out. Because generally it works that, the bank takes in 100% of your money, but they loan 90% of that out, and that's legal, which mathematically, it doesn't work for banks. And that's why we bailed them out a number of times. So, with situations that happen like that, it definitely affects how much money how long your money will last. Excuse me, let me say that. It definitely affects how long your money will last. And then the onset of people eating better, you're looking at shows like the Knight Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show, you're living longer, living better, living, doing more. That money needs to stretch even longer. So we really need to focus on some other investments, even at a retirement age. And a lot of times they say at retirement, you get into more conservative investments and you ride the money out. But now, since more money is being used to maintain yourself, a lot of people either have to go to work or have to utilize the capital that they have to reinvest to make that money last longer. Equavian?
Yes. Well, the question was asked: are there any positive impacts for retirees returning to work? And this is a phenomenon that you're seeing more and more of, and some of it is, driven by income, but there are other aspects as well. There are some who they may simply be lonely. I mean, and this is a sad reality, but it's true. They need social engagement, and to avoid loneliness or being home alone, they go back to work so they can be around other people, and they also often they need things like emotional or mental stimulation as well. A sense of fulfillment. So those are some of the positive reasons why some people go back to work, just so they can fill that void that's in their life. It might not be necessarily because of finances, but a need elsewhere and something they enjoy.
Wow.
I'll tell you one positive aspect of older people coming back. I'm just saying, as an employer, you generally have the people that are older, usually are a little bit more honored on their time coming in and coming out, really focused on, they grew up in a customer service society, so the customer service skills are generally better. So, I mean, as far as a business owner or even the public, Joe Public, going into a place, you'll probably get better service a lot of times that way, which is sad.
Very sad.
Kenny, you up, brother?
My
Pensions
brother.
and Social Security. Talk about that.
We want to talk about how the possibility of retirement pensions and Social Security limitations are affecting some retirees. Here's a scenario. When a retiree receives both a pension and Social Security benefits, their Social Security amount can be reduced if that pension comes from a job where the taxes, Social Security taxes, were not paid. It's known as a situation called Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP. That probably impacts retirees with government or foreign pensions, like foreign people that go overseas and work foreign contracts. But it ultimately leaves them with a less amount of overall retirement income. And in a lot of cases, like my brothers talked about, they end up going back to work by necessity. And to me, that defeats the purpose of retiring. When I retire, I want to do just that, retire. I want, like the lady said in the video, I want to travel the world. I want to spend time with my kids, with my grandkids. But unfortunately, after 30, 40 years of whatever of work, I'm still punching the clock. And that in itself is a really, really tough situation. But I'll give you a couple points about pensions and Social Security limitations. If your pension is from a job where your taxes are withheld, your Social Security taxes are already withheld, it won't affect you. But if your pension is from a job where Social Security taxes were not withheld, this benefit, your Social Security benefit, could be reduced, and not to be redundant, a big percentage of them end up going back to work. And like I said, it defeats the entire purpose of retirement. Tough situation for a lot of people. And the thing that we're also missing, another reason why people don't retire when they can, is not just because of them not having the age or the time, it's medical. Who's going to pay my medical insurance? I mean, I have insurance on this job that pays a vast percentage of it. I have low copays. And if I do decide to retire, what happens if I get sick? I'm up in age. I have, like myself, I have medical issues. Who's going to pay my insurance? So that's another thing that we have to look at.
Yeah, no doubt.
True.
Talking about that, Arden and Q, why don't y'all handle that question, speaking about some of these things that you have to worry about.
Go ahead, Q.
Well, one of the things you definitely have to worry about is long-term solvency. Because lifespans, I should say, not lifestyles, but lifestyles as well. But lifespans are different for everyone. It depends upon your health, number one, what kind of health you have. If you're a person who's in poor health, you may not be thinking as long-term. You may be thinking, well, look, I want my money now. I need my money now. That type of thing. And with the change in the Social Security structure and Obamacare, or American Health Care is what it's really called, but we shorten it to Obamacare and Medicare, it impacts that because they're thinking about changing things, to changing the way it's done. They're thinking about changing things like offering it to younger people to bring in more revenue to pay for that, okay? That's one of the things they're trying to do. The thought is, if they can bring in people who are younger and start paying into that, that will have more money, add more money to the coffers, which will enable to pay out more. And that's one of the things they're thinking about. I'm gonna kick it over to you, Art.
Oh, great job though, man. I mean, it's just vote. Vote. If anything,
just cut straight to the chase.
I mean, for real, man. Because everything we're looking at right now has been and is potentially on the chopping blocks, and they've been trying to chop those things for decades. I mean, I'm a pretty young man, and all my life I've been hearing them trying to take away what people are living on. And it's sad because they said it's being conservative. It's like in these conservative areas, those rural areas, that's where you have the higher percentage of people needing these kind of situations. I mean,
And
you know,
Art,
so
you
it's
got a good
very
point there.
important that
You know,
that they
some of the things
focus in on
they're
what.
trying to
Oh,
do.
hold on. Excuse me. It's very important that they focus in on what is good for them. You know, it's talking points and everything else. But if those things cut off, where will you live? What do you do? How do you exist? And you just can't run with a party. I mean, people really better start looking at what their interest is and who they're voting for to find out if they're really voting for somebody that's really going to support their interests. What were you saying, Q?
But yeah, some of this goes beyond party though, Arden.
It
so
does.
They're come up with remedies to, like say for instance, Social Security. The threat of running out of money is real, and that's gone through all kinds of parties in different administrations. It's not been the Republican or Democratic problem. It's a financial economic problem. So they're trying to come up with these solutions to add to those coffers. You know, so it's not necessarily voting is a good thing, but it's not necessarily about that. You got
Now,
things like
hold on for 1 second. Let me say this real quick, because
Okay.
everybody, anytime you talk about somebody needing some assistance, and this is a massive kind of situation when you start talking about support. You're talking about supporting the people that have quote unquote made this country great, right? Those are the seniors. Those are the people that's from the boom, the greatest generation of America, blah 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 blah. You can throw all the soliloquies out there, but by and large, that how do you run out of money for that? And we can still send multiple billions of dollars around the world for other people to blow other people up.
Well, see,
Well,
now,
So
you're talking about
let's be
apples and-
real when you start talking about how much money is really available, how much money really can be spent, and how much money can't be spent. How many billions of dollars, trillions of dollars are we giving away to corporations that are already profitable? So I mean, it's you know, we start talking about that. That's why I said vote. I'm registered independent. I don't have a horse in the race as far as these Bloods and Crips, because it's funny that they got the same colors the Bloods and Crips got, and they running the same games. So bottom line is, I'm saying look at whoever's in office, make sure that meets what you want and what you need for your life and lifestyle, and that's what you vote on. I don't care if you're a registered Democrat. If somebody's a Republican and they're doing what you need done, then vote for them. If you're a Republican and it's a Democrat that comes in and they working for the people and really doing their job, vote for them. That's all I'm saying. So realistically, it doesn't matter the party.
Yeah, okay,
Margaret, hold on, y'all. Margaret threw out an interesting comment. She said, "Oh, O'Malley did away with the state retiree." Let me get that back on the screen. Did away with the state retiree medical insurance starting January of next year, and now he's working at the Social Security Administration. So he'll probably have some type of effect on it too, which is a sad situation. She said she meant prescription insurance. But look, I did want to segue because, and we can pick some of that up on Friday with our guests.
Friday.
But all right, look, on a more positive note, if you are retired or you are elderly, and what's some things that people can do to supplement to bring some money in? Got any
This is
ideas,
a beautiful
brother?
time in our lifetime as far as this country is concerned. You can partner up. Maybe you might not be really connected to the internet or really internet versed, so to speak, or internet literate or online literate. Find somebody in your family, maybe a little younger than you or maybe even older than you, that are good at that, and utilize your personal passion as your profit to create a profit, and freelance and go into helping other businesses, helping other people that have been in your industry grow, or other businesses in your industry grow, or some things that may have been a hobby that you love to do, and turn what you love to do into profit. You know, certain things that you may be doing, people need help. If you still love children, then people need help with childcare. It's a lot of things that are open to do now that maybe were a little more difficult to do before. So I would just say try to turn your personal passion into profit. for real.
Q and Kenny, can y'all take that last question there? Thanks too, Art.
Yeah, one of the main benefits of staying mentally and physically active for retirees, one, is being well.
Yes.
Preventing illnesses, being able to go back to work if, in fact, you do have to go back to work. Staying fit mentally relieves you of things like having dementia or mental issues and thoughts of suicide, unfortunately. So staying physically and mentally fit at this particular time in society for retirees is at the utmost importance. And my brother E got something more to add to that.
Oh yeah, it's important because it also, staying physically fit now, it kind of ties in with your decision-making process on things like Social Security payouts. If you're not in poor health, you may want to start taking your benefits early, maybe as early as 62. Your payouts are going to be substantially less, but you figure, okay, let me get this money now because at 62, because I don't know if I'm going to be here at 7, But if you're somebody who's in average condition or more, you may want to wait till 66 or 67 because your payouts are going to be substantially higher, as you see by the chart right here. You'll be 100. If you take it at 62, you're going to get 70%. At 66 or 67, you can get 100%. But even better, if you're in really good condition, if you can hold off to age 70, and you could get more than 100%, 124% or more of Social Security benefits. Now, in order to do that, though, most people at that age, they'll need another source of income, another source of revenue. That may require working longer. Maybe you have a job that you really enjoy, like myself. You might just say, okay, I can continue to work and not worry about and hold off on those Social Security benefits. So that's where health comes into the equation.
Margaret Nick said, you got a job.
Soon.
No, she said, do any of y'all have a job for a retiree? She can she get a job? Can you? Yeah.
They always look for help, and Arden said in childcare, no question about it. There's a shortage there.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, there's a shortage in a lot of places where people are looking for dependable people, realistically. And all I say is, if you have the other two things, your health and your mindset straight, it's nothing for you to go into something new. I mean, it might even be interesting. And one thing they say about as you get older, if you keep your mind active, keep learning new things, it helps your health and overwhelmingly. So definitely look out there and then be willing to try some new things. Maybe some stuff that you dreamed about doing while you were younger. Yeah. This might be the time. There's like some really great actors that didn't even start until they were over 50 years old, and they became household names before they passed. So don't ever think it's too late. That's
you know what, I'm gonna say this, and I know we in way different times. That historically or biblically speaking, shout outs to Alma. He said he found the answer to retirement. Straight up, just do it. But biblically speaking, people used to. We've gotten to a point now, 50, 60 years old. You old. You can't do nothing. You broke down and you can't do this and all that. And 65. Nobody told. Now I know Moses never, but I'm just talking about even generations and generations after Moses now. People was grinding, having children and whatnot, having, childbirth, you know what I mean? Now I know, a lot has changed since then, but I'm just saying, you're old as somebody, as you think you are.
Yeah, right.
You're as old as your mind tells you are. So, I got a brother, not Equavian either. That's couple, good number of years older than Equavian. He's still out here grinding and healthy and everything else. 70 something, still doing what he want to do. So it's a mindset thing as also now. But if you can hit it, and I would tell this on the flip side, start young. You know what I mean? I wish I would have started younger, but I started early enough. But start younger with saving and having some type of situation where you're putting a couple of pennies aside and get that rule of 72 working for you, that compound interest and all of those types of things. And crypto is still a young industry right now. You know what I mean? Crypto went last week, my Bitcoin was 54,000, 55,000. Today it's 75,000. Made $20,000 in about a month. I ain't do nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, if it ain't crypto or something, I don't know what nothing else is making a return on your money higher than that. But that's why I'm in that game. But for something, invest in something, do something, but put some pennies inside. Q, tell them about Friday night, brother.
Well, Friday night, once again, we have a special edition this Friday night, guys, of our political roundtable. And you know how informative and entertaining it was last time. And we're anticipating more of the same this Friday night at 8 p.m. with our special panelists. Look forward to seeing you guys here on Friday night. It's going to be fun, man.
Oh, yeah.
Closing words.
Party after that. We're only going to be on an hour. You can party. You can go out after that.
Closing words. Kenny, Art.
Absolutely. Join us Friday night. Friday night is going to be a really, really interesting panel as we approach the election day, and we will not have a show on Tuesday, so everyone can sit back and watch this election, how close it may or may not be, and we want you to focus on your candidate, our candidate, everybody's candidate, and just stay safe. We will see y'all Friday at 8 o'clock, not next Tuesday, Friday at 8:05. Check us out.
I like that, Dupree. 70 is the new 60.
55 is the new 55. Go ahead, Angie.
Yeah, I like that.
55 is the new 55. That's definitely right on point.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
And Arden, as we talked about,
everybody. What were you saying?
Arden, as you talked about before, that's why health is so important. Just because what you put right there, this is you talked about. It ties back to what you said previously.
So. What I want to say though is I hope everybody this week has walked maybe 3 times this week. If not, please make it a point. I know it's getting a little cooler. Maybe if you walk in the morning like I do, it's cold in the morning. Just put on some clothes. But if you wait till the afternoon or after work or whatever else, it's still up to 60, 70 degrees right now. So I'm just imploring everybody, when this is the time where we start doing less and start bunkering down, I want you to keep moving. At least try to get a walk in, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, at least 3 days a week this week. If you think you can do that, throw a 1 in the chat. If you could do more, put a 2. But also, don't forget, pick your window. What 8 hours are you going to eat? Are you going to eat breakfast or skip breakfast? Or go, however you want to work it. But stay focused. Because this is the time. They're going to be giving candy away in a couple of nights, and everybody's going to be eating a bunch of junk. So measure yourself, get out there, exercise. Healthy is the new sexy, but we want you to live and love.
Yeah, and I'm going to close it out, and I know Margaret says she can't make it Friday. Thanks for letting us know that, Margaret. But because we'd be like, where number 1 stunt at? Anyway. Anyway.
She got the 2 up. She's doing more than 3 days.
We're not going to do next Tuesday because we don't want to interrupt the elections and people, checking out, either going out to the polls or either, getting back home to check out the news and all that, because it's a consequential election. And your whole paradigm could shift after Tuesday. And I don't know if people really tuned into that, but the world as we know it could have a dramatic paradigm shift starting next Tuesday, as little as a week from now. Yeah. So it's a real possibility of that. Now, a lot of people don't think so, but we don't know. So I'm just saying, you got to be ready for that shift, and you might have to make some real adjustments in your situation. You could be like, the reason why we talked about retirement and all of this tonight was some people planned excellently for their 60, 65-year-old self, but the world changed. They didn't F up, the world changed. If the world changes again, Tuesday, a week from now, you don't know how that's going to affect you. That's why I'm saying this shiznick is really important. And people been sleeping. People been sleeping at the wheel. I'm not saying y'all are, but a lot of people have been. And dude just told you that Puerto Rico is
A floating pile of garbage.
yeah, come on.
Yeah. He gonna find
Anyway.
out what that is, because I know a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans and they don't be playing messing with Puerto Rico.
Anyway,
Please get out and vote. I voted today. We had early voting starting here in Jersey on Saturday. I got out today. Please go out and vote wherever you are.
no doubt, no doubt. All right, and with that, we're gonna say peace out, Q.
Peace out.
See you Friday.
See y'all Friday night.
Love
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
All right.
Friday night.